Hello there, beautiful people. I am here today to share with you a story of my own. I'm going to hide names because I want to protect my privacy. I just want to show you how entitled people like my mother-in-law Veronica get their just desserts. In this story, my husband Atlas, sister-in-law Stella, and grandfather-in-law Miguel helped me out. I truly appreciate the fact that I got such amazing in-laws. I grew up an orphan. I bounced around foster homes, most of where I was treated like shit. My quest to find love and happiness was the only reason that I'm still alive today. When I turned 18, I was kicked out of my foster home and had to go to a homeless shelter. From there, I got my first job as a cleaner. I did complete school but didn't have the means to go to college. When I suddenly found myself starving and homeless, I was forced to take whatever job I got. Many years have passed since then, and now I have a decent job. Yes, I worked hard to be where I am, and I am proud of my success. My husband Atlas was super supportive of me throughout my journey. He was my classmate in school, and we started to date only after I got a roof over my head. He did pursue me before that, but I had rejected him. It wasn't that I didn't like him, I was simply an insecure woman with no future ahead. He came from a wealthy family, and that itself intimidated me a lot. I never thought I could be worthy of him. Atlas didn't stop convincing me to give him a chance, and after years of trying, I finally agreed to date him. But our life as a couple wasn't easy. His mother was a nightmare to deal with. The first time she saw me, she said, "Wait a minute there, girl. You look very familiar." "Oh my God, Atlas, don't tell me you picked the homeless orphan out of all the great girls at your school. You spent years trying to woo this useless girl?" "Mom, what is wrong with you? You can't talk to my girlfriend like that. She might be an orphan, but that doesn't mean she cannot be with me. And she's not homeless. She has worked hard to find an apartment for herself. An apartment she shares with roommates, I'm sure. God knows what kind of work she does. Atlas, you are in college and have a bright future ahead. Why the hell would you choose a loser and gold digger like her?" "Veronica, you're mistaking my intentions. I'm not a gold digger. Yes, I know I don't come from a good background and don't have many prospects, but I am working hard to get a decent job. If I had the means to go to college, I would have done my best." "You would never have a chance to go to college. I know that your grades are not that great, and I also know that your foster parents kicked you out. I mean, who would want a loser like you anyway? You should have picked someone from your class. My son and our family are way out of your league." Look, I was used to being humiliated and bullied for being an orphan. And yes, my mum's grades thanked me because my mental health was in shambles from foster care problems. Still, I was hoping I would finally find a family in Atlas's family. I did meet his sister and some of his relatives. They are lovely people to me, and most of them are active in charity and even volunteer at homeless shelters, so I had some hope that his mother would too be like them. Well, I was wrong. The venom Veronica spewed at me was hard to digest. Thankfully, Atlas intervened and stood up for me. He fought with his mother and took me back to my place. On the way there, he said, "I am so sorry for how my mother behaved, Sage. Trust me, only she is like this. Everyone else in the family already loves you. Hell, even Stella is so excited to have you as a sister." "I know that, Atlas. Your family does have some great people. I know your mum thinks I'm not worthy of you. She's right. But I will try my best to improve myself. I hope she will accept me after that." "Sage, you're already perfect for me. You don't have to push yourself harder. My mother is a bully and doesn't have any achievements of her own. She's only wealthy because of my grandfather. She has no right to insult you like that." Atlas didn't have a great relationship with Veronica, and neither did Stella. Apparently she was an absent mum and left all the childcare to their nanny. She was busy partying and spending her dad's money on herself. She was never married, and her baby daddy terminated his rights after Stella was born. Veronica made no move to be there for her children, so they had some resentment towards her. Meanwhile, I never had a mum and desperately wanted to have a mother figure. I worked like a dog to get where I am. Veronica kept insulting me, but I still wanted to make her like me. All hell broke loose when Atlas proposed to me. We had been dating for 5 years and he thought it was the right time. Everyone was happy about the engagement except Veronica. She didn't raise hell in front of everyone because she didn't want her family to think ill of her, but she did send me some vile texts on my phone. She said, "You witch! How did you manage to get my son to marry you? All these years, I just thought you were a pastime for him. I thought he would grow out of you and finally settle with a rich girl, but now I see that you have managed to trick him into marriage." I didn't trick Atlas into anything. Veronica, I love your son and he loves me. That's why we got engaged. I promise I will keep him happy. Oh, shut up, Sage. I know girls like you are only after my son's money. Even if you are not, you are simply not fit to be his wife, and I will never allow you two to get married. You'd better leave him before I teach you a lesson about what happens when you mess with me. True to her word, Veronica did everything to mess with our wedding. Me and Atlas got absolutely fed up with her. We didn't tell anyone except Stella. Miguel was a good man who didn't tolerate people acting like brats, so we knew if we told him about it, he would do something drastic. You should know that it is Miguel's money that Veronica spends like there is no tomorrow. We feared that he would cut her off once he found out. So we decided to elope to avoid drama. But turns out that set Veronica off even more. She screamed and yelled at Atlas for ruining his life and his family's image. They had a huge fight until Miguel intervened and told Veronica to get over the elopement. I thought that the drama was over. It was the very beginning. About 6 months after we eloped, Veronica suddenly decided to be chummy with us. She even invited us to a family gathering that she was hosting to celebrate our wedding. Me and Atlas were sceptical at first, but thought about giving her a chance. Well, our doubts were proved right when Stella came running to us crying. At that time, Miguel was in the house and Veronica was on vacation. Stella said, "Guys, look at what Mum is saying. Oh my God, I can't believe she has been arranging the family gathering for this." "What's wrong, Stella? What are you saying?" "Mum said she wanted a family gathering to celebrate our marriage." "No, Atlas, she isn't hosting a party for that. Look at what she has texted me. God, I'm so freaking mad right now." Let me just tell you what Veronica wrote to Stella. "My mother-in-law found out that I used to work as a cleaner. She planned to use this as an excuse to belittle and make fun of me. She arranged the gathering so that everyone would pile on me and humiliate me. She was convinced that everyone would find me disgusting. She laid out her plans to Stella because she didn't expect her daughter to rat her out. When we saw the text, we were furious." Atlas said, "That is it, Sage. She has crossed all limits today. There is no way we are keeping contact with her now." God, I never knew Mum could be so cruel. How the hell did she turn out to be so soulless? I don't know what to say, guys. I'm thoroughly humiliated already. I knew Veronica never liked me, but I always tried with her. I think I made a mistake and should stop. I will never match up to her standards. "Don't ever say that, Sage. It's Veronica who's in the wrong. She has turned into a horrible woman. I have tolerated her nonsense long enough, but not anymore. You are family, Sage, and when someone attacks my family, I won't let them go easy. We will find a way to teach her a lesson." The 4 of us put our heads together and came up with a plan. Then we made the perfect plans to teach Veronica a good lesson. We told everyone about the issue and asked them to join our plan. Thankfully, everyone agreed. Everyone came to the party knowing that Veronica had planned. She had no idea that her own plan would turn against her. As soon as the guests arrived, Veronica immediately started to make fun of me with them. Just like we predicted, no one joined her or laughed at her jokes about me. Their serious expression caught Veronica off guard. Still, she didn't stop with the jokes and insults. Things took a drastic turn when Miguel showed up. He walked in and caught everyone's attention. Just as we were about to sit down for dinner, Miguel announced that everyone had something to give to Veronica. She looked confused. When everyone produced a letter with her name, she was even more confused. She said, What are these letters, guys? I'm not sure I understand what is happening here. Why have you brought these letters?
You will find out once you have start reading the letters, Veronica. We all know why you invited us here today. There is no reason to act coy. You did some planning and we did some planning of our own as well.
What do you mean, Dad? What planning? I don't understand. There are too many letters here. Why don't you all just read them out loud? I don't have the patience to go through them. Veronica had no idea that she had just set herself up for humiliation. As soon as she told people to read their letters out loud, people started to do that. Veronica was stunned when the letters were read. Everyone in the room had written against her, calling her a classist witch and a horrible person. My dear mother-in-law was shocked to hear the letters. Even Stella, her own daughter, spoke against her. The final blow was sent by Miguel, who wrote a scathing letter for her. He said,
Dear Veronica, when you told me that you had arranged a family gathering for your daughter-in-law, I was very excited. Everyone in this family loves Sage and thinks highly of her. She's truly a hard-working lady and we admire her for her success. It broke my heart to know that you have only arranged this family gathering to humiliate Sage for being a cleaner. I couldn't imagine raising a daughter who didn't respect people. I didn't know that my daughter is so cruel that she thinks people are inferior to her because of their jobs. Trust me, Veronica, everyone else here was as shocked and disgusted as me. I was the one who suggested everyone writes letters to you. I did it mostly because I had a lot to say to you. I guess you don't remember, Veronica. Your wealthy father used to clean houses too. Yes, I worked the 3 jobs to start my own business. I grew up with poor parents who passed away before I turned 18. They left me with no money. I had to look after my siblings by working 3 jobs. I cleaned houses, cars and tables at restaurants. I fed my family and gathered money to start my business. The wealth you see now is made from money that came from these odd jobs. Yet today you called a gathering to insult the very base of my success and your wealth. I didn't expect this from you, Veronica. All the people you see here have struggled to establish themselves. All of us have worked odd jobs and menial jobs to get where we are today. None of us were handed our wealth on a silver platter like you were. The wealth you take so much pride in actually belongs to me and not you. You dropped out of college, partied throughout your life and didn't lift a finger to achieve anything in life. I was a weak dad who loved his daughter a lot. I didn't see how you were turning into a monster. Today you yourself have opened my eyes to reality. I don't even know if I still want to call you my daughter. The room went silent after Miguel's speech. Everyone looked at Veronica with a very pissed-off expression. Miguel was right. Everyone who attended came from humble or impoverished backgrounds. All the people of Veronica's generation were aware of that and decided to stay humble. It was only Veronica who turned out like this, so when her plan was revealed, everyone took offence on my and their behalf. Veronica looked very frightened, especially with her own father read such a scathing letter. She started to tear up and try to say, Dad, I am sorry, it's not like that. I didn't mean to insult anyone. It was just some harmless fun. Enough is enough, Veronica. Stella has shown me all the texts you sent her. Don't you have any shame, Veronica? Your own daughter is freaking disgusted with you. She called me and cried about how disappointed she is in you. I can't believe you're still trying to claim that it was not meant to be insulting.
Dad, I swear I didn't mean to insult Sage. I was only trying to joke around a little. She's twisted my words to paint me as a cruel woman.
Don't you dare try to put this on Sage. She didn't do anything here. Look at everyone here, Veronica. Do any of us look like we find your plan funny? Even a child can see how wrong and cruel you were being. I'm seriously disgusted with you.
Atlas, look at this. Everyone has turned against me because of your wife. You know your mum, you should say something. Everyone is trying to paint me as a bad person. Are you going to stand there and say nothing?
What the hell do you want me to say, Mum? Why the hell do you think I'll side with you? Even after we exposed you, you'll claim this is all Sage's fault. How delusional can you be, Mum? The only reason I haven't written a letter today is because I don't need to write down my feelings. I'm perfectly capable of speaking my mind after what you have done. Veronica was, again, pretty stunned by the fact that no matter what she said and did, everyone was still blaming her. That's when she knew that trying to act like an innocent woman wouldn't be beneficial to her anymore.
So she turned on me instead. She cried and said, "You witch! You have influenced everyone against me! I know this is all your plan. You didn't want anyone to find out about your gold-digging ways, so you decided to make me the bad guy. I know what people like you are capable of." What do you mean by people like me, Veronica? People who work hard to feed themselves, people who don't have a wealthy family, or people who have to work to be successful instead of sitting around like a trophy wife? What the hell did you call me, Sage? You have no right to insult me in front of everyone. You have 0 standards and no class. You are not qualified enough to insult me. Yeah, I don't have the right to insult you, but you can insult me whenever you like. Nice logic there, Veronica. Keep talking. You are proving what a real piece of work you are. Suddenly it dawned on Veronica that she had lost herself while insulting me. She looked around to see everyone else giving her the nastiest glares possible. Miguel and Atlas looked exceptionally pissed. It was Atlas who broke first. He said, "Mum, you have really tested my patience today. I've given you multiple chances to change yourself. Today you have proved to me that you haven't changed one bit. You're still after my wife, even though she has been nothing but kind to you." "I don't want her filthy kindness, Atlas. For years I've been telling you that you should not be with someone so poor. You never listened to me. We might have been poor in the past, but now we have a reputation to uphold. I called everyone today to draw some sense into you, but now I see that your witch wife has turned everyone against me." "I didn't have to tell them to do anything, Veronica. It was your own son and daughter who couldn't tolerate your disrespect towards me. Plus, your family has good people. Only you turned out to be the classist hell." "You are talking way too much, Sage. Just wait till I teach you a lesson. It will teach you how to behave with people who are above you."
Enough is enough, Veronica. The only person who needs to be taught a lesson is you. All these years I worked hard to give you a good life, but now I regret not being more stern with you. You have turned into a horrible woman and need to face consequences, and I have the perfect punishment for you.
What? What do you mean, Dad? Are you going to punish your grown daughter?
When my grown daughter is acting like an illiterate child, I will punish her. This company and wealth that you treasure so much won't ever be yours. I will change my will to leave everything to Atlas, Stella, and Sage. Yes, I will give Sage a portion that you will get nothing. From today, I am also cancelling your allowance. You need to earn your own money. Enough of you acting like an entitled brat.
No. You can't do that to me, Dad. You can't cut off my allowance. You can't stop me from getting your assets.
I'm cutting you off as well, Veronica. Don't bother contacting me again. Come back only when you have earned $2 on your own. But remember, I still won't change my will. I will disinherit you, and instead I'll give my hard-earned money to the people who deserve it.
Veronica heard this and started to shake. She turned pale and couldn't believe what Miguel had said. Miguel looked positively furious and meant business. Veronica knew very well how much her father valued his words and promises. His declaration was something to be really afraid of. She started to cry while begging Miguel not to do this to her. Miguel didn't even look at her and started to collect his things. Then she turned on me again and said, "Sage, you witch! I have lost my allowance because of you! Look at what you have done. You've stolen my inheritance. This is all you always wanted, didn't you?" "No, Veronica, this is not what I always wanted. I simply wanted to have a loving family. You are the one who wanted me gone. What happened to you today is nothing but the consequences of your own actions."
Mum, you haven't just lost your inheritance today. You have also lost your son. After what you have done to my wife, I will no longer keep you in my life. Don't bother contacting us ever again. We are leaving.
And so am I. I can't believe my own mother could be such a heartless woman. All you've done is live a luxurious life without lifting a muscle. You have no regard for our hard work or love. We tried so hard to make you see your mistakes. You simply made a big joke of us today. Like Atlas and Grandpa, I'm cutting you off too. I don't need your toxic presence in my life. Our nanny was a better mother than you anyway. Stella and Atlas both told her that they no longer wanted her in their lives. Their own resentment towards their mum came pouring out that day. In the end, Veronica was a crying mess while everyone left the party early. No one even touched the food she ordered. We all went to a nearby restaurant to have dinner. Everyone was freaking mad at Veronica, and no one ever wanted to speak to her again. The next few days went in a blur. Veronica regularly showed up at our door to demand forgiveness. Yes, she didn't ask or beg. She demanded that we forgive her. She was convinced that Miguel would forgive her if we did. Alice and I knew that she didn't learn her lesson at all. But it was just the beginning of her nightmare. She soon realized that Miguel had blocked all her cards, and he has already updated his will within 2 weeks. Veronica was in deep trouble. She had no money of her own and only had a house to her name. The only thing Veronica had left was the house, and it wasn't worth a lot, but she was forced to sell it to get money. After a few weeks, her grocery was out, and she desperately needed money for shopping. No one was willing to help her, so she had to borrow money from someone. Selling the house was necessary because she needed to repay the money to avoid jail. Veronica did get a good amount from the house, but it wasn't enough to last her over a year. Ironically, she had to find a job as a cleaner because she didn't qualify for anything else. She tried to get back in contact with us, but Atlas, Stella, and Miguel still wanted nothing from her.